Hi loves, it's Elle and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today we're gonna have another TikTok beauty hack video. Some of these are amazing, so before we get started, hit the subscribe button, share this video with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. So whether you're into TikTok or not, y'all love my last video. This is actually from a TikToker. She is over 40. I just love to see more TikTokers that are over 40. Her name is Sonia Valencia, and I'll link all of her information below. All right, so her first hack. This one I'm gonna have to have no audio because she does cuss. She said, so what she's doing here is she is taking something she got off Amazon, and it's basically an ice ball. She says to do this 2 to 3 times a week, and she is taking it all over her face. She also has suggested to take plain old ice, and we've actually talked about this before. This is actually an old Hollywood trick. I have plain ice, I have in a paper towel, and you're gonna rub it all over your face before you add any of your serums, moisturizers, or anything like that. You're gonna do this for about 2 minutes if you can. What this does is it soothes puffiness, absolutely. It soothes any kind of acne breakouts. It's a great anti-inflammation. It also kind of reduces pore size, the appearance of pore size. And it actually is from that theory of an ice bath. Old Hollywood stars used to do an ice bath on their skin to tighten the skin as well. So if you have any kind of fine lines or sagginess that wants to be improved, this will help temporarily. Woo! Feels good. And there you go. It's a great hack. The only thing I'll add at the end of that is if you do have any broken capillaries, this is probably not a hack for you. We just don't want to add any more stress to that already stressed skin. For the next one. This one is something that I am very familiar with, but have not talked about it on my channel in a long time. If you're going to go watch her though, just make sure you know that she does use profanity.
Add translucent powder to your foundation, CC creams, BB creams. I love this trick because it's so buildable. The more you add, the thicker it gets, so watch out ladies. But
this is such an old school, I love this hack. So I'm taking this is a tinted moisturizer that I actually do not really like. It's serum foundation, but it has very little coverage to it. So if you don't want to throw something away and it has too little coverage for you, pop it into some sort of bin. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to add a little bit of translucent powder to it. I'm just using the Hourglass translucent powder, like so, like that, like Tabitha says. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna mix it together. Now, the more powder you add to your foundation, the more coverage it's going to give. So the reason why this works is it just basically is thickening up the formula. If you have watched one of my recent videos where I wore this foundation, you'll know that this foundation gives very little coverage. And I am mixing it up. Take it on a dry beauty sponge or on your fingers. This one is color changing, you guys, so just so you know. And I just work this into the skin. And then you take this, and it also works fantastic. So just give this a second to change. But it also works fantastic with colored powders. So say you have a tinted moisturizer that's a little bit too light for you, and you have like a colored powder, you can actually add that and it will change obviously the consistency of it. So it's a little bit heavier, as well as it will change the color of it, which is so great to keep using up products so we don't throw away and waste anything. All right, so now I obviously am all one color because this is how I look when I apply foundation before anything else. But I will say that this foundation hack does definitely work. It just will not give you, so say you have a really light tinted moisturizer, it will only give you like just a slightly heavier coverage. It won't go from like light tinted moisturizer to a full coverage foundation. So just an FYI, to get it to do that, you would have to use quite a bit of powder. Okay, you ready for the next one? Aren't these fun? You're gonna need your concealer, your color corrector, your foundation.
when it's time to color correct, and if you need more coverage because you have dark circles, put it on top of your concealer and just let it sit there for a minute or so. The darker it is, the more color corrector you apply. You're gonna wait, so let's wait. Let's go. So now that it's ready, we're going to go up, and then you're gonna bring it up.
Okay, so that's the hack. I've never tried this in my whole entire life. I do already have foundation on, but it's not a ton, so that's okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna apply our concealer, okay? Here we go. Okay, so she says to apply your concealer here, and I'll tell you why she says that. She also explains it in a couple other videos. It's a little low for me, but the reason why is because the closer you bring your concealer up to the eye line, the more creasing you're gonna have, and that is a thing. So I'm gonna be using my color corrector from Charlotte Tilbury right on top. I don't have a ton of darkness, so we're just gonna go like that. And the reason why we let it sit is because we want it to kind of, what happens when makeup sits is it coagulates a little bit and thickens up. I am gonna use this right in the corner of my eye because peach will do the same thing as lavender. It'll cancel this out. Okay, so now she says to let it sit because she wants it to kind of get a little bit thicker. I'm gonna use my Elle Maquillage foundation, and I'm just gonna use very little since I already have foundation on. Now the point of this, and I do have a damp sponge, now the point of this is to blend everything together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna touch just a little bit of the foundation on my sponge, and I'm gonna kind of tap it on my hand to distribute it. Okay, this is sat for pretty long, well, long enough. The only thing I worry about is if you use like a really peach color corrector, this might be really peach underneath here. So I don't know if I would do it with a super dark color corrector, but let's blend away. I do like the hack for underneath the eyes for not bringing it like super close. And that is a great way, especially for everybody that's at a 35, 40 and up, is that it's a great way to make sure that you are concealed and you do have the concealer in the right place, but you don't have such a crazy amount underneath that eye well. So I do like that. That actually looks pretty good, doesn't it? But again, I don't have super dark circles, and so that peach kind of just blends in with my skin tone. Okay, let's try the other side. And again, I'm just tapping just a touch of foundation on here, and I'm gonna blend that in. And it really works well with a more pointed sponge, so you can get underneath the eye. I like that hack. You know what? I might have to actually end up doing that. That's a good hack. I like that. So you know what? No matter if you are a professional or not, we can always learn. If you feel like you know so much about makeup, there's always room for growth from no matter who it is. And here's one of my own hacks. So this happens a lot with a lot of you guys that are applying bronzer. It can actually grab on, especially since we're not setting a lot of our foundations with powder. So what I want to urge you to do is to take your beauty blender, to roll it up the face. It's just a little bonus for you guys. Roll it up the face. Take the side that it has that you didn't just do that with. Kind of clean up the edge here. There we go, clean up the edge. Take a brush with nothing on it, translucent powder, just a touch, and go around that bronzing area. And there you go, you have fixed your little bronzer mishap. So she wears a bold lip quite often, and she talks about this hack on how to make your lipstick last longer and to prevent feathering. And actually this is something that she brings back like such old school tricks, and I just love it because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that. Take your translucent powder, put it on a brush, tap it around, wipe it off so you don't get it all over the place. Do you remember this trick, you guys? We used to do this back in the day. So basically what you have just done is made your lipstick a liquid lipstick. It's obviously more matte, it's going to have a lot of more staying power, and it's going to feather less than the traditional way of applying lipstick. Oh, I'm feeling like some like J-Lo vibes or something with these like old school things that come back and the hair slicked back. Anyway, I hope you guys found that super fun. I think she has some amazing tricks and hacks that I have totally forgotten about. So make sure you go over to TikTok and follow her. I am sure she has an Instagram. I will link it below if she has one. And again, thank you all so much for being here for such a fun video. And I'll see you on the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Bye, loves.